Hi, my wonderful artists. I'm Mrs. Peters. I'm going to be your art teacher this semester. Welcome to my art studio at home, my virtual art studio. Some days I'll be at home doing videos, and some days I'll be at school. So today I'd like to start with part one of our first Wednesday meeting, and we're going to do our cover sheet to our portfolio. I'm going to go over the expectations. I'm going to teach you what supplies you need. And the nice thing about a video is that you can do this at your own pace. So if you're one of my hybrid learning students and you see you on Blue and Gold days, or if you're one of my distance learning students, all of you can do this at your own pace. Just make sure you upload the work to your Google Classroom or show me in person if you're one of my hybrid students so that you can receive credit for your grade. So the portfolio making is 90 points and the cover sheet is 10 points for a total of 100 points for the overall portfolio creation. So we're going to get started. I'm going to do my picture in picture and I'm going to show you what supplies that you need. You can always speed this video up if it's too slow for you, or you can slow it down, pause it. You can always go back to it when you need to. So that's the nice thing about the video. All right, so here we go. What you need today is the piece of paper that I provided for you, either that you picked up or that I gave you in class. So if you don't have it, I can show you. You can do this on a separate sheet of paper because accidents happen. Look, even mine got wet, so I had to let it dry out. But this is what you need today. Most of the time in art class, you're going to need a pencil. And I'm sorry if my video pixelates a little bit, so just bear with me with the technology. Um, it doesn't matter what kind of pencil, number two pencil, drawing pencil is fine. Mine doesn't even have an eraser. In your packet, your art supply kit that I gave you, you should have an eraser, or you're supposed to get a vinyl eraser from the store. As a matter of fact, these pink ones, blue ones, green ones, orange ones, they make vinyl erasers in lots of different colors, or they're called like smudge free. You're also going to need something to add color. For example, my Crayola colored pencils or the markers. And it's always nice to have a sharpener handy as well. So those are the supplies you're going to need today. Let's get started. You can use a marker, you can use a colored pencil, you can use a pencil for the writing portion and make it nice and colorful. So you're going to put your name up here. My name is Bonnie, but to make it professional and appropriate for school, we're going to use Mrs. Peters. You write your name. There, fit that right in there. And let's kind of get to know each other a little bit. Things you should know about me are, well, there's two things about me, and you're going to write things about you so then I get to know you a little bit better. So sorry for the pixelation. One thing about me is I think I'm relatively friendly. And I like to smile a lot. I like to bring joy to you, and I appreciate when my students bring joy to me. Another thing that something about me or my personality that some of you will get to know is that I think I'm pretty fair. I like to listen to my students. I like to hear both sides of things. So if you ever have a problem or something's going on, just email me and or talk to me in person if you can, and we'll do the best we can. And like I said, I try to take all things in consideration. I'm pretty fair. All right, so you can have one of several class codes here, and I put blue and gold, but that doesn't mean that you're in a blue class or a gold class. Some of you actually have a schedule where you come on both days, so you're blue and gold. Well, so if you put blue and yellow together, you make green. And it doesn't matter what color, just make sure you get the correct color so that I know where to place. So I'm going to make this one blue, and I'm going to use my marker here. That's a beautiful rich blue. These Target markers, to be honest, are really juicy, which I like. That means they have a lot of ink in them, which is great. Hopefully it lasts the whole semester. All right, a couple things, my favorite art materials. I really like colored pencils. I like to draw, so just like anything that I can draw with. So I'm going to choose gray for drawing. I like to use clay, and I hope we get to use clay this year. We'll see what happens. And I love to paint and make anything super colorful, so I'm going to choose purple for that. I'm going to paint watercolor paint. Oil paint is really nice, but it's hard when you have children like I do, so because it takes forever to dry. Watercolor paint, acrylic paint, oil paint, pretty much any kind of paint, gouache. Those are all different types of paint. Even latex paint when you paint your walls at your house. I love that. Here, I'll give you a little picture-in-picture so you can see me. There I am. All right. So I hope this year in art class we get to come back to school, everybody, because it's so kind of sad for me just to, make my videos, and I'll do the best I can, but I really want to see everyone. So I miss everybody. I want to see everybody. You write how you think. In person. But that's wishful thinking for now. I hope this year in art class we do get to use clay or some type of sculpture material. I'm gonna try my best, so bear with me. I got to figure all that out with all the new COVID regulations. And I hope we get a lot of time to make art. Art traditionally used to be 3 days or 2 days out of the 6 day cycle, so every 3 days, which I love. But now it seems like it's really stretched out for hybrid students and distance learning. So we're going to do the best we can, but I like more time for art. Look, you can do this on your own. When you make artwork, you don't have to have me as your teacher always see everything you do. Feel free to send me a picture of the things that you make, but it's okay to make art on your own. That's not an assignment, because that just means you enjoy what you're doing. And some people make it for fun, some people just stress. So it's a really good thing to do. All right, and then 2 ways I can follow rules in the art room. Well, guess what? A lot of you are not in the art room. As a matter of fact, nobody is. So if you're home, what's a rule that you have? If you're at school, what's a rule that you should have when I'm in the class with you doing art? So it's a different art class. It's not actually in the location of our art room with sinks. One thing I think that all of us could have in common, depending if you're at home or here, is safety. It's important to be safe. For example, like you wouldn't have a hot glue gun plugged in all night long because it could set on fire because if it gets too hot. Or if it gets really hot and you touch it, it could burn your skin. So for safety, that's important. So if you're at home or if you are in the building, it's important to be safe with materials that you have. So I'm going to put be safe. And one other art rule, and I guess just a life rule, is, be kind to one another. Take a little bit of time. I think the biggest gift for people is to forgive them and be forgiven. Like, I appreciate when people forgive me because I make mistakes, and I think that's something nice. So just be kind. And it will have much better experience this year. All right, so everything on here is pretty much written. Make it fun, make it colorful, make it about you. You could color in the background, you could outline this with different color markers, you could put polka dots back here, you can put stripes. You're not required to color the background on this whole sheet. As far as the self-portrait, we're going to draw a picture of ourselves, which should be kind of cool because you have your phone or your digital device and you can see yourself. You can even take a picture of yourself or use a picture you have. But just a general rule of thumb, we're going to make a portrait that is not necessarily exact. For example, when you draw a person, you're going to notice the shape of their face, the shape of their head, okay? We only see the face. The head is the whole part of you, but we're just going to do the face. So in general, a rule of thumb is make an egg shape. So see how I'm holding my pencil and I go around it a couple times. Whoa, I went way off. I go around it a couple times, and that gives me the ability to choose which oval or circle that I want. Now, a lot of us have different jaw lines and hair lines, and that's okay. But we're going to start here. Now, you are using your pencil for sure on this part, because if you use a marker and you make a mistake, you can't really change it. And also, if you use a marker, the marker sometimes bleeds through onto the other side. Look, I made a mistake. So I'm just going to rip that off right now. And I have this art mat down, so it's okay for me if I get marker on there. But sometimes if you're at home, you want to put a couple pieces of paper or a piece of cardboard or some type of material that won't bleed through onto your dining room, your desk, your kitchen table, wherever you're home. So work safely, be safe, okay? Be smart with the supplies too. All right, back to the portrait. We're gonna draw a neck. You wanna make it really big, like a professional athlete or a weightlifter, or you wanna make it really little, and then lines, the parallel lines close to each other. That's fine too. You look more like a caricature artist drew you. And then I'm just gonna put a curve line for my shoulders so I'm not like a floating head in this box. I'm going to draw the collar of my shirt, which is a curve. And I'm going to do 2. And then I'm going to draw hair. Now, everyone has a different hairstyle. So you just want to think of how you comb your hair. So if you have spiky hair, your hair is going to go up like that. If your hair is short, use little lines. And if your hair is long, use long lines. If your hair kind of falls down by your chin, that's how long you're going to draw. You can even see how I'm using my pencil to do that. If your hair is long like mine, then you just bring it longer. If you have dreadlocks, you can actually draw those depending on the size or the style of where they are. If your hair is really, really, really short, you're just going to bring it super close, and you want to really pay attention to your hairline. We all have a hairline. Like my hairline is up here, but a lot of times my hair overlaps the way it goes. So we all have different hair, and that's okay. But when you're drawing it, just the rule of thumb is the way you groom yourself, that is how you're going to draw your hair. So if you go from top to bottom to brush, or if you pick it up, that's how you want to kind of like draw your hair. If your hair is straight, you're going to use straight to slightly curved lines. If your hair is curly, you're going to use or wavy, you're going to use more wavy or spiral lines depending on the length of your hair and the style that you have it. So for me, I'm just going to put where I part my hair, so it's kind of like my hairline, right? And then I'm just going to curve it over, and once again, I apologize about my video. It's a little bit pixelated, and I don't like that. I'm just going to curve it down. So I'm drawing a little bit darker so you can see, but most of you can tell that this is relatively a light drawing. And let's see if I can zoom in here for you so you can see it a little bit better, because it's really, really light. Okay, here we go. So next I'm going to draw the other side. Now look, if you want your hair behind your shoulders, that's how you draw it. If you want your hair in front of your shoulders, if it's long enough, then what you do is you just kind of go over the lines that you already drew. You like a zigzag, and then you take your eraser and you get rid of the stuff inside that part, or the shape that you created over the top. So that shows it overlaps, so it's in front of my shoulder. This side, I'm going to put behind my shoulder. All right. So as far as ears, you can't see my ears, but if you are drawing ears because your hair is short, I use a little artistic license and draw, and I'll refine this so you can kind of tell which one I'm going to use. The beautiful thing about drawing is you're going to make mistakes all the time, and you just go in, like one ear's over the, that's okay. I'm just going to leave it. Um, when you draw the eyes, you can do anything you want with the eyes. You can make two little dots like the cartoonist that made Caillou did. You could do big eyes. You could do manga eyes. You can add little details like eyelashes. You could do eyebrows, your nose. You could even draw a mask if you wanted with the COVID style, or you can, it's kind of nice to see our whole face. So I'm just going to draw just a curved line for a smiley face. Now, this is very simple. If you want to add to it, go for it. Like I have a little mole on my face, so I can draw my mole, make it a little bit more stylized. I can draw my mouth, my lips. I can add nostrils. I have eyebrows. I can add my eyebrows. And this, the more you add, the more it kind of gives you personality. You know, you can add rosy cheeks. So let's talk about skin tone. And I have a scrap sheet of paper here that has a couple different skin tones. I apologize, my marker went through here. And most of you have a kit of color pencils that only has 12 colors. So it's going to be a little tricky, but I have a couple tips and tricks to help you out. So get your color pencils ready. Most likely you're going to need orange, you're going to need brown, and believe it or not, you're going to need white. You can always add a little red too if you want to warm up the colors, but keep your colors handy. But these are the ones that I have, and I'm going to show you how to do this. So skin tone is basically like, a lot of people think like black and white. Well, we're not really black and white. Like I'm very Caucasian and my color is not the color, my skin color is not the color of the paper. So I'm kind of like a light peachy pink, depending on the way the light hits me. So like the studio light, my art studio, if I move, you can see I look more yellow. So color changes depending on the lighting. Our skin color changes depending on the time of day. So we're going to go light to dark, and I'll just show you very quickly, like here's a range. When you hold your colored pencil, hold it from higher in the pencil and just lightly, barely touching the page, you're going to get like a nice little peach tone. Okay. And then if you have a little bit darker, like you're like a darker Caucasian, I'm going to press down a little bit harder. And so it looks a little bit peachier. You can very slightly tell the difference. You can always go over another layer if you want. So that's kind of like light to medium Caucasian. If you have Mediterranean skin, or you have a light kind of caramel colored skin, you're going to use your brown and just same thing. Go down nice and light on the color pencil so you can see. Now, there are variances in all of these. I'm just giving you a couple basic ones. The more you press down with your pencil, just give it a little bit more pressure, you're going to see that you can change the skin tone from just kind of a lighter brown to a medium brown. And this one's a little bit more pressure on my pencil. So just with a brown colored pencil, I can make different skin tones. You can even get darker by pressing it more. All right. So there's just a quick way to show you. Now, if you want to warm up your colors, you want a warmer color, so like pink or red. So since we don't have a pink, just lightly add a little bit of red. You can even overlay a little bit of orange on top of your brown. And it does change up the skin tone. It makes it a little bit warmer. Now, here's one tip that's really cool is the white colored pencils. Most people don't use these white colored pencils. They don't know what they're for. It's a really good blender, meaning if you press down here, I know it's a little pixelated, but the colors will become a little bit more vivid. So like a little bit more orange. So if I had pink and yellow, it'll blend them together. Or pink, orange, and red, it'll blend it together. So this one I use red and brown. So if I press down, you can kind of see that it gets a little bit more vivid. Pretty cool, huh? Even if your skin is kind of like a brown tone, like a caramely color, or even to a dark brown, watch this. If I press down, it's going to blend that pigment together and just make it a little bit darker. A little bit. It'll blend the colors together, the color that wherever you place that color. So the neat thing is it brightens it up and it blends the pigment from the inside of the color pencil together. So there you have it. There's a couple different skin tones. So easy peasy lemon squeezy. You are going to add your skin tone and color this in. I have one that I already started for another class, and I just want to show you. I did one with a mask here, and you can see that I did that with kind of like an orangish pink. It's a little bit bolder in person than on the camera, so you can kind of get the idea. As a matter of fact, I started working on the background here, and I was making Legos because my son plays with Legos a lot, and I think they're really cool and colorful, and you can make all these fun things with Legos. This one I pressed down really hard with my colored pencil, and I made a swirl girl, or like a really fun swirled up mask. So that's kind of like my signature style here. When I did my hair is yellow and brown and light. There's even like, it looks really dark in here because it's a shadow. So I could even use black. So if you have brown hair, it might not just be the only the brown crayon. If you have a medium brown, you're going to have a little bit of black in there. You know, my hair is really light and I have really dark areas depending on the way you take a photograph. So, in the way the light hits it. You could even use your white and blend together like I taught you with the skin tones. So go ahead and make this part really fun and colorful, and take some time. Make your t-shirt or the shirt you're wearing, you know, super colorful, or no white shirts on this, please. So make it bold. You can even do like a tie-dye like I made and make it, you know, express yourself the way you want. Put some fun things on there. Make it school appropriate. Thank you. And when you are finished with this, you're going to bring it back to school, and we will glue it on our portfolio. If you are home distance learning, you are going to glue it on your portfolio, and I'll show you where. So just wait on it. For now, just put it in your portfolio, and the next time we meet, we'll glue it on there, and we will complete the second page here. So we'll go through that. So thank you so much for joining me today. And you can see I have two that are in progress, and they're slightly different. And we're going to have some fun with these. Thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing all of your fun drawings and learning about you, learning what art materials you like, and just a little bit so we make this online classroom a little bit more fun, and we get to connect and learn about each other. So thanks a lot. Once again, if you always have any questions you have, feel free to email me or ask me in person in class. And I can't wait to see what you guys came up with.